Honestly, still the best Superman movie. And the best Iron Man movie. I'm not sorry.
And a giant from another world.
You can fly?
Who became a hero on this one.
You can fly!
The Iron Giant.
So Hogarth is a child with the most brutal mother in the world. Not because she beats him or anything, she just named him Hogarth. And he meets a big tin man, except he's already got his heart. The biggest heart in the whole damn world. And he's basically like if E.T. met Superman. So Hogarth will save the Iron Giant from electricity. The being of all robotic things, I guess. And he'll do it by just switching off a big switch that turns off all the electricity in his town and has a big on-off on it. It's good there were more terrorists in the 50s, eh? And then he'll become friends with him, but in a kind of E.T. way, not in a shape of water way. I hate that we have to clarify that every time now. The animation of this film does look a little bit more like the 50s in which it's set, rather than the 90s in which it was made, but apart from that, everything else is total genius. The charm, the wittiness, it feels very ahead of its time, and I guess that's because Brad Bird made this, and then went on and made The Incredibles, and took over as one of the kind of creative heads of Pixar, and therefore everything they still do now is very much inspired by his style, which was first on display here. So, and there is a lot in that. There are a few things. I think the emotional powerhouse nature of this film is something that Pixar has been trying to emulate, mostly successfully, for years and years now. And I've got a secret theory that Pixar hot moms started here. Yeah. They're shameless about it in this film. Everyone wants a piece of Annie Hughes. I love the characters in this. Obviously, Annie's great. She's fine. She's just the mother character. Named her kid Hogarth. It's fine. Kent Mansley's there as the villain. He's just such a dickhead. I don't even understand his motivation. That is one of the big... There are a couple of problems with this film that we willingly ignore. And one of the big ones is, why is Kent Mansley such a dumb bastard? Like, I guess it's really trying to, stretch the point about American xenophobia, but, man, that was... literally willingly blows up, or tries to blow up, an entire town, which he is in, rather than just let the giant check out it in case it's nice. Anyway, so there's him. Hogarth is there. He's just the right blend of kind of snarky and lovable. It works. And then you've got Dean, who is just one of the greatest animated characters ever. He's just so done with all this shit. It's just like, Hogarth, I'm going to put up with all your crap, including your alien robot, because your mom is really attractive. And it works for him. Blows my mind. It's incredible. And of course, the overarching point of the whole thing is the Iron Giant is just a gun, and guns are bad. If you released this film today, conservatives would come out calling it utter woke nonsense, but because it came out before 2000, they can't get away with that. You stay, I go. It's not fair for it to have this kind of emotional power over everyone. You can just walk up to someone in the street and say, one of about 10 or 15 lines from this film and make them weep. I mean, ugly cry. Not a sort of Pixar glistening inside out 2 single tear thinking about your childhood. Ugly, searing tears. The story is pretty simple, pretty brief. He meets the giant about 10 minutes in. They just go and have some fun together. I mean, literally. And it's so... I feel like there's something so real about it. Like, Hogarth meets this giant and he's not sitting around trying to figure out about him and have this deep emotional connection of some sort. Like, that comes naturally in the film, but most of their time together is just spent, gallivanting. Frolicking in a matter. Hogarth just, runs around with the gun going, pew, 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 and, they play together like children would. There's something about that I feel like it would be totally lost in a modern animated film that is crazy to me and so beautiful and so wonderful. And it should also make the film a little bit weaker than it is. I don't know why it doesn't. There are multiple scenes where they're just kind of hanging around playing. There's no big implications to it. And it just works. It's so beautiful. Brad Bird literally made this. I think this was his first animated film he directed. And then he went on to do The Incredibles and become one of the big heads of Pixar. And I really believe that this was the starting point for weaving that kind of emotional gut punch into so many Pixar movies, because the earliest ones, first Toy Story, A Bug's Life, nice to watch back. Do they have the emotional gut punch? It's a completely unforgettable film that has managed to become iconic without the kind of big studio backing that it would have needed. It is one of the best animated films of the 90s, and that really is saying something for that time. It's crazy. So I'm giving Megalopolis wishes it could boil American societal problems down like this. 4.5 stars. Seriously, the 90s for animated movies, man. Like, it started with Beauty and the Beast, and then DreamWorks and Pixar both got going. Disney went on the best hot streak they've ever had, and independent of those big studios, you were getting things like Fern Gully, Fievel Goes West, The Nightmare Before Christmas, about 15 Land Before Time films, and like 30 great Scooby-Doo movies.